just observe, it tunes in. And when an Afrobeat icon like Davido takes a daring political step on a pan-African platform, it doesn't merely create buzz, it alters history. In this powerful fictional narrative drenched in symbolic imagery and electric political undertones, Nigeria's treasured superstar Davido makes an unimaginable move. He boards a private plane, this time not for a music tour or an award ceremony, but for a face-to-face with a figure some in the West label controversial, but Africa's youth call a visionary. Burkina Faso's president, Ibrahim Traore. There under the burning sun and the roaring cheers of thousands, Davido doesn't pose for the camera or flash a smile for PR. He does something that stuns an entire continent. He opens both his soul and his bank account. As the world watches, he hands President Traore an astonishing $1 million gift, openly and proudly dedicated to empowering the youth of the new Burkina Faso. It was a move that was bold, beautiful, and revolutionary. Its message was clear. Africa belongs to Africans. Togetherness over conflict. Youth power over corruption. But back in the corridors of Aso Rock, that powerful gesture ignited jealousy. It revealed insecurities. It quietly sparked a political showdown. At the heart of that storm stood President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the seasoned power broker who now saw Davido not as an entertainer, but as a challenger. What followed was a media frenzy of manipulated headlines, smear tactics, and government-backed intimidation. But Tinubu wasn't ready for the tidal wave that followed. From the digital battlegrounds of Nigeria's social media space rose a voice louder than his. The unfiltered, relentless, and fearless figure known as Very Dirkman. This is the fictional chronicle of how one musician's pan-African gesture ignited a movement, and how even a nation's leader couldn't smother the flame. Ouagadougou, the heart of Burkina Faso, had never seen such a buzz. The rumors leaked. The whispers became viral posts. Then the footage confirmed it. Davido's private jet was about to land. The city erupted. Schoolchildren, traders, bikers, even veterans, everyone rushed toward the airstrip, phones raised high, chanting the name of the Nigerian icon who had shaped African music for a generation. As he descended the jet stairs dressed in a tastefully stitched agbada in green and gold, the noise reached a fever pitch. Davido beamed, raised both hands in a peace gesture, and walked toward the crowd and dignitaries. Behind him, his team wore t-shirts that boldly read, "One Africa. One youth. One voice." What happened next changed everything, from a cultural celebration to a political reckoning. During a live national broadcast of a youth empowerment rally at the presidential palace in Ouagadougou, Davido stepped up to the microphone. He paused, scanned the audience, then looked directly at President Ibrahim Traore. "Africa needs more leaders like Traore," Davido declared. "I didn't just come to say hi, I came to support. I'm donating $1 million to empower the youth and support the future of Burkina Faso." Silence gripped the crowd. Then, an explosion of joy. People cried. Others fell to their knees. Twitter, now known as X, went down across West Africa for 2 full minutes. The hashtag Davido in Burkina shot to #1 globally for 6 hours straight. Influencers and fans crowned him a cultural revolutionary. Analysts called it a reset, a fearless gesture, the spark of a youth uprising. But while celebration rocked the streets of Ouagadougou, storms brewed in Nigeria. Inside the lavish chambers of Aso Rock, the vibe was tense. President Tinubu had watched the entire event unfold from his media control center. Davido's radiant smile. The standing ovation from the Burkina youth. The global attention. It gnawed at him. His aides stood frozen, unsure how to respond to the storm they saw rising in their leader's expression. At last, Tinubu spoke, voice heavy with resentment. "He's making us look powerless," he muttered. "Imagine. A singer acting more like a leader than the actual president." The room froze. The silence was thick. Then, one bold aide dared to speak. "Sir, the youth are celebrating Davido's donation more than anything the government's done." Tinubu slowly turned, his stare cold as steel. He answered softly, "Call FCC. Dig into him. Find something. Anything." The instruction was clear. And thus began a quiet war, not just against Davido, but against what he symbolized. Hope, unity, and youth-driven change outside of state control. Within 2 days, the machine was in motion. Articles popped up. Carefully planted. Strategically released. First came online whispers. Then tweets from burner accounts. Then full-blown media scandals. The mystery behind Davido's $1 million gift. Is Davido secretly bankrolling coups? FCC launches probe into donation source. The FCC issued no formal comment, but something was off. Davido's management team got mysterious calls. Surveillance vans began circling his Lekki studio. Reporters received strangely well-timed leaks. But Davido remained calm. On Instagram, he posted a black screen with white text. Love always wins. Nah, God day run my matter. His fans rallied. His streams surged. International blogs backed him. Top African stars like Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage, and Stonebwoy voiced support. But the true firestorm came from an unexpected ally, one man with a phone and zero fear. The infamous Very Dukman. A digital warrior known for tearing down corruption and hypocrisy with unfiltered passion. And now, he had chosen his next target. The Tinubu regime. In a viral 10-minute rant titled, "They Fear Davido's Light," he looked straight into the camera, eyes blazing. So because Davido gave $1 million to support an African president, FCC is investigating him. But when politicians loot billions, you're quiet. Davido's pushing unity. You're pushing bitterness. The clip clocked 3 million views in a day. But Very Dukman didn't stop. Every night, he went live, exposing what he called the desperate moves of Nigeria's ruling elite. Una wan fight person way day build Africa. If Una touch Davido, Una go collect, he named officials. Showed receipts. Uncovered shell companies and shady deals, none of which involved Davido. His defiance was contagious. Soon artists, activists, and even silent opposition voices echoed his words. Hashtags like #HandsOfDavido and #VeryDirkmanSpeaks flooded social media. The tide was turning. For the first time, Tinubu felt pressure not from abroad, but from within. It all started with a flight, a gift, and a fearless artist. Furious at Very Dukman's influence, Tinubu's camp tried to silence him. They pushed to get his pages removed. Hired influencers tried to smear his name. But it was too late. The story had shifted. Davido was no longer just a singer, he had become a symbol. Protests flared in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. Students wore shirts that read, "I stand with Davido. Music is not a crime. $1 of love, not loot." Then came the turning point. A leaked phone call surfaced. In it, voices believed to be from FCC leadership admitted. "We were told to fabricate if needed." The audio spread like wildfire. News stations picked it up. The government denied it, but the damage was irreversible. That very night, Davido uploaded a video from Burkina Faso, surrounded by children. "They tried to twist love into a scandal," he said. "But love doesn't divide, it builds. And we're building a new Africa, one act of kindness at a time." Pressure piled on Tinubu. Global media asked why a philanthropist was being harassed while billions disappeared from government coffers. Eventually, Tinubu caved. The charges vanished. The FCC backed off. But the reputation hit was lasting. A cartoon in a national paper showed Tinubu trying to drag Davido down, only to fall into a pit labeled shame. Very Dukman posted, "Game over. You picked the wrong guy." Davido returned home to a hero's welcome. The airport was packed. Reporters swarmed him. But Davido smiled and simply said, "Let's stay focused on love. That's all that matters." He went on to launch the Unity Africa Foundation, funding youth projects across the continent with that same $1 million. Burkina Faso honored him by naming a street Avenue Davido Traoré. President Traoré called him a true son of Africa, blending melody, might, and purpose. On a continent where politics often fail its people, Davido didn't just perform, he stood firm. In the face of envy, he remained peaceful. In the face of power plays, he inspired. And by the end, he wasn't just admired, he became unstoppable. He didn't respond with anger. He chose hope. This tale proves that even when the system grows dark, the light still finds a way through. If you believe in unity, music, and Africa's rising future, share this story, hit like and subscribe. Because this is just the beginning. Africa is rising. And Davido is singing its anthem.